So, new For Honor update. You've probably seen every other YouTuber at this point make a video about the armor, the skin, the map and such, but what I want to talk about is Starter Dominion and give my feedback on it, as I think this is a fantastic idea with unfortunately poor execution. So what is Starter Dominion? Put simply, it's Dominion without stamina, without feats, versus bots, and the bots are named like players even though they're just bots, and they only play the vanguards being Warden, Raider, Kensei, and Tiandi. The argument here is that this makes For Honor easier to get into because of how much this simplifies the gameplay experience, but I don't think this was done well, and I'll go into why. What is a good idea though is restricting the hero count down to vanguards only, because even when fighting bots, learning to fight 30 plus heroes is way too much, especially when they change every round. For a new player, it's like getting hit by domain expansion infinite learning curve. So, this is Gargantuan. I always had the belief that all fighting games need to have some kind of game mode where all matchmaking is sort of restricted to only a few basic characters, and that's just that, so nice. Minor nitpick here, but what the hell even is a Vanguard? Are they meant to be the guys with big weapons? Then why is Tiandi there? Are they meant to be the simple, easy to get into character picks? Also no, because then why is Kensei there? Year 9 Season 4 and hero classes still make no sense. But whatever. Getting into the actual problems, stamina and feats should be kept. Absolutely they should. Because it's one thing when you're fighting players who will abuse these features against you, like knocking you out of stamina, getting massive punishes, using feats that insta-kill you, but this version of Dominion is bots only. So worrying about your friend getting longbowed and rage quitting? Not gonna happen. Take this from someone who's already gotten multiple friends into this game. On their first match, they will look at their feats and straight up ignore most of them unless you point them out. Looking at the bottom left of the screen is not something new players do. I promise. And it's not like feats add any complexity to the game. Most of the time you just press a button and you get a damage buff. It's not that deep. And if anything, new players realizing that they can shoot catapults, in my opinion, only makes them more hyped to play the game more. And again, stamina? You don't have to worry about it when fighting bots because they don't exploit that feature unlike players. Stamina management is an integral part of the learning system and one that doesn't take a lot of time to learn. It's stamina in a video game. You attack too much, you see the green bar go low, and you stop attacking. Once again, it's not that deep. Stamina and feats are easy, intuitive, and fun, and don't need to be removed at all. That's the key part. It's intuitive. You know what's not intuitive? Externals, team fights, revenge. And revenge. Dude, you're fighting bots. What's the bot gonna do if he gets revenge? Stare at you for 5 seconds? Maybe throw a light? Paint a heavy? Nothing's gonna happen. You're basically just teaching new players to play like actual idiots, teaching them to never stop attacking, don't be wary of stamina or revenge. This is not a good idea. This is the opposite of what you want to do. And you know why I'm right on this? Because look at half the people who are max rep with a character. Most of these guys are terrible at the game because most of them play versus bots to get to that level. So all they know is press a button against an enemy that won't fight back. This mentality is what you're ingraining into newcomers when you remove stamina and revenge. This is a certified negative video because this is genuinely an amazing idea with poor execution that all it does is add to the list of For Honor's bad tutorials. Starter Dominion is meant to be an introduction to a new player. But as soon as that new player gets bored of fighting the same 4 bots in the same game mode over and over, what do you think will happen? They're going to play one match of normal For Honor, get pulverized instantly, and quit. So here's the feedback. Make a starter variant of every game mode, where you can fight bots or players depending on choice, and keep stamina, keep revenge, and keep feats. Now what will this accomplish? 1. New players don't get bored of playing the same game mode over and over. 2. The transition into quote-unquote real For Honor will be smoother because even when fighting real players, the characters are still going to be Warden, Raider, Kensei, and Tiandi, so they don't go from fighting the same 4 bots to now all of a sudden 30 different types of players. And 3. Now even veterans can go out and play these modes as a form of shelter from potentially broken character releases. And you know, outside of Tiandi, the OG Vanguards are some of the most fair and balanced heroes in the game. And sometimes you just want to play a game of just that, so I'm sure that everyone would appreciate this. You make the learning curve smoother for newer players, while still teaching them about the very basics of the game, and you create a safe haven for veterans. Now, I doubt that many veterans would be playing this game mode at all, because most people will want to be playing their own characters. But if you're worried about this change splitting matchmaking, Make it so that only people below overall rep 50 can queue for this mode. And then if those people want to invite their friends who are veterans, then they can play. As you can see, there's ways to juggle this, to balance what would be best for the overall game. But what has to be fixed is the ridiculous learning curve that new players will face from fighting 4 bots with no feats, no perks, no stamina, and no revenge, to suddenly 30 players with all these mechanics. You know, it's like the meme of the teacher giving you homework for learning, and then the actual exam is like that times 50. So please do that. This has been my feedback. Take it as you will. And that's it for this video. See ya.